Rogue Tier, we still winning. Magic Card, oh, we extending. Dark Law, he still contending. Sunrise, your lights in it.
Yugi peoples, welcome to our week 2 discussion of me trying to make the Neos engine work. Alright, so I've had a chance to play twice since the last discussion video. Each time the deck has performed a little bit better, and my not this last tournament, but the one before that, I was actually like one win away from top 4. I blew it myself. It was against Flunder. Actually, both times this week, my final boss into getting into top cut had been into getting into top 4 has been Flunder, and both times like I got flundered. Yeah, I got deezed, and it's a really tough matchup. But I feel like both of the game 2s I should have won. And I feel like I'm gonna have to go back over the video, but I feel like I lost both of the game 2s the same way. Just a complete play mistake as I started activating my cards, forgetting, oh, there are certain things I'm not going to be able to do to get to my combo. Alright, so it's definitely performing a lot better. Prisma added off in there makes it a world of difference. He's a very easy way and because especially since he can be searched out, it makes him really valuable in getting that dolphin into the graveyard when you need to. And of course, like, the biggest problem with this deck is not being able to get 2 heroes on the board. That'll be, that's just the big issue. If you don't draw, like, as they say, like a hero extender, then it's just kind of like you're stuck, depending on, I guess kind of depending on what your hand is. So, take this time to talk about one thing that I noticed. One mistake that I was really making is that in the times when I can't summon Cosmos Neos, I just felt like if I can't get to Cosmo Neos or I can't get to Shining Flare Neos, then I'm just kind of losing. And I forgot completely about Nebula Neos. Like, at least he has a negate, and he has a draw effect, but with the way that I'm playing the deck, the actually draws don't necessarily help that much because I'm not really playing hand traps off inside of there unless I'm playing against Tier Elements when I side in the Ghost Bells. But I tried to make like effect veilers or something fit off in there, but it's really hard because you need like every single card to make sure that your engine goes off. So it makes it a whole lot tougher to do to make the Nebula draw like really worth it. I did summon him for the first time this week, and on my opponent's turn to get that negate, it was against Sword Soul. I negated Taya's effect, and I actually should have proceeded to win that match, but like we ran out of time, and in order for the whole combo to work, I actually had to activate a Hero Lives, and I had to activate Instant Contact, and his turn was like we had 5 minutes going into his turn, and yeah, even though I negated the Taya, it took the whole 5 minutes for his turn. So unfortunately, I ended up losing that game. It just is what it is sometimes, man. That time clock there is just something people use. I'm sure we've all done it, like at some point, looked at the time clock and, just kind of use it to your advantage. It's a part of the game, and, it just lets me know that in certain games when I realize that I can't win, I probably just need to go ahead and say, let's go ahead and go to game 2, because like in order for this deck to work, like the optimal cards that you want to draw are going to cost you life points, so you really don't want to go into game 3s with like, game 3s when you have like 5-6 minutes left. You don't want to go into those turns having to activate a Hero Lives or having to activate Instant Contact in order to be able to, go combo and play the game. So unfortunately, it is what it is. I feel like maybe if I got to Cosmos Neos, like I could have, made it to where, okay, well, you can't play anything, so there's no reason for you to take the whole 5 minutes. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that far. But we did summon Nebula Neos, so now Nebula Neos is there in the back of my mind. Other things is Pot of Prosperity. All right. Pot of Prosperity is a really good card, especially in a combo deck like this where you need specific cards in order to be able to do anything. It's really good to go grab that specific spell card that's going to help me, be the final combo piece in order to complete my combo. The thing that sucks is later on, I can't do Crosskeeper, I can't do Liquid Soldier, I can't do End Shuffle extra effect, and it actually just like really hurts sometimes. So I'm actually thinking about completely cutting it. I went down to 2, but there are still other times where I was just doing the same thing, and it was just like, oh, well, now I just have a dead pot of prosperity. I can't do anything. So I probably will replace those with something else off in there. Another thing I did is I removed the super polys and I decided to go with droplet instead. Like, I know it doesn't sound good. Droplet is not all that great inside of this deck, but in certain, I feel like because Super Poly wasn't doing its job against the main deck that I was playing against, like, I mean, like the main deck that I'm worried about playing is Tier. And it's just like when you Super Poly, even if you Super Poly both of their monsters, bring out Draco, Sapelia, then it's just like they both still come back out to the board. Like, I don't know. It's not necessarily bad. Well, it is kind of bad because a lot of times also they have the trap card, so they can get rid of the Dracos to Pelia anyway. And then it's just like you still have to deal with both of those monsters on the board because they just came back. So, I decided to go with Droplet instead. The thing about Droplet is like, if you have those extra Neo-Spatial monsters that you can spare, they don't really do too much inside of your hand unless you're trying to in-shuffle them. But if you're in-shuffling the Neo-Spatial to get to, a hero, then you're probably losing anyway. But, one of the things about, like, when I was considering, like, putting Droplet in is, like, usually with this deck, you're going to activate some kind of spell card, whether it be a Hero Lives or Emergency Call or, Instant Contact or any of those cards. So, that's automatically one of your sins off of, Droplet. And then also, like, if you got the Shadow Mist or, like I said, just however you decide to do it. Like, there are times where, you emergency call, go ahead and add the Shadow Mist, activate your instant contact, chain forbidden droplet, send the Shadow Mist you just added, send the instant contact. And, because most of the time I feel like you only, like, need usually 2 in order to negate your opponent's interruptions. And then, like, maybe there are some games where you might need 3, but it's just like as long as you have a 2-card starter thing, then you're good. You just go for it from there. So I really feel like it was kind of worth it. It was better going into most matchups because, like, the 2 decks that you think about when you play this format are Terra Elements and Flunder, and Super Poly does a little bit against Terra Elements, and it does nothing against Flunder when they already have the board set up. So I felt like Droplet was better going across the board, so I did put the Droplets off in there, and it's actually like a whole lot better. Another thing is the Engage Neo Space. All right, that card I feel like is the best card inside the entire deck. I mean, it just is. It's just like, I mean, it's not exactly as good as Fusion Destiny because it does require you to have one of the pieces inside of your hand. But as far as like 1-card starters go for that deck, it is just really good. I went down to 1, but it just seems like I still draw it all the time. The thing is when you play it, you have to constantly think about, okay, I cannot make Inferno Devicer when I play this card. And I feel like a lot of times when I do play the Engage Neo Space, I don't think about that until after I've already activated it and start thinking about the rest of my plays, and then I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot, I can't go Inferno Devicer. And I think that actually like cost me both games against Flunder matchups. Like, I mean, like the 2 different days that I played against Flunder, I think the mistake with Engage Neo Space really cost me the game, because if I had sent different Neo-Spatial monsters, keeping in mind that I can't special summon out the Inferno Devicer, I still would have been able to make Cosmos Neos. I just completely blew that. But that being said, playing with the 1 Engage Neo Space, I really feel like I need to go back up to 3. Man, it's just probably the best card, like, because In Shuffle requires you to have another monster in order to, I mean, not to have another monster, but it requires you to have a monster in order for it to be a starter. And then Neo's Fusion is good. It's a good card. It's really good. Like, most of the time when I'm doing it, it's just to, get that draw effect with the Crosskeeper at the end. But you can't special summon after that. So, it makes that one, it's still a good card though. I really like Neo's Fusion. But Engage Neo Space is just like, when you do that, you're getting to, most of the time, depending on how you do it, you're getting to drop the Shadow Mist, so you're getting an add off of it, you're getting a special summon, and you're getting polymerization. Like, the card is so ridiculously good. I feel like I have to go back to playing it at 3. Like the thing is, it's like I'll have to remember that hey, you can't go Inferno Devicer, which is like one of the good things, especially like when you get to send the Shadow Mist, it's like you can go get the Prisma. So when you sent the Neospatian with the engaged Neospace, you know, whichever one, like especially like if you opened up one, you can go ahead and send that one with that one, and then with the Shadow Mist effect, you can go ahead and add the Prisma, summon the Prisma, drop the other Neospatian, and then you know if you possibly drew one or you got some ways to draw cards, then you know you're still trying to find a way to get that last Neospatian off in there because it's going to summon the Spirit of Neos to the board. So, you know, you got your Neo. So you're basically just missing that one piece for Cosmos Neos. And then on top of that, if you don't get to the third one, if you went ahead and sent the Grand Mole and then with Prisma, you know, you go ahead and send the Black Panther or whichever way you decide to do it, then you're still able to make Nebula Neos, which is, you know, at least a negate on board. It's a draw also, and you know at least you're still doing something. So like it's not all bad. So I really feel like engaged Neospace needs to be at 3 off in there. You definitely like you probably don't want to draw it every single game, but it's a whole lot better than our other options that we have, you know. And so probably go back to 3 with that. You know, there are other things that we can done with it. Like I said, the addition of Prisma like opens up like different combo lines because it gives us another way to drop that Dolphin into the graveyard, or you know, like I said, in the case of engaged Neospace, to drop either the Grand Mole or the Black Panther, which one you didn't drop off of the engaged Neospace, so that you still have a Nebula Neos play. So yeah, you know, overall, like it feels a little bit more comfortable playing the deck. The thing about it is like I didn't have like much experience with the Neos engine, so I still make play mistakes here and there. Like I feel like the biggest issues with the deck is like the not being able to fit hand traps off in there. Like you can put hand traps off in there, but unfortunately, in order to get the hand traps to, you know, to have an effective amount of hand traps, like you're gonna have to remove some of the stuff like in shuffle, like Neospace, and unfortunately, like we really need those cards. So how I'm kind of playing the deck is like, you know, it's kind of like I got in a droplet. So if I draw a droplet, you know, maybe I have the opportunity to play through my opponent's board. You know, if not, then, you know, I'm probably just losing game 1 if I didn't go first. And then game 2, Cosmos Neos lock. And then game 3 is when I adjust my deck in order to be able to, you know, counter whatever my opponent is doing and hopefully go in for OTK. Now, that being said right there makes side decking with this deck a little bit tough, because when you're going second, it's like you don't want to think that, hey, I'm trying to set up to summon Cosmos Neos, because like, I mean, the point of it is to keep your opponent from playing the game, but they already played the game, so it's like now you're trying to break whatever they did. So typically, you know, I feel like it's better a lot of the times to side out like the Grand Mode, the Black Panther, and the to side out most of it in order to be able to play through my opponent's board. Now, like thinking about that, it kind of made me want to change up my side deck a little bit to where playing like something more effective, like heroes going second, like maybe like putting a fusion destiny off in there with the destiny hero monsters, you know, and like, you know, switching it out to be a better going second play style. But unfortunately, it takes too many cards in order to be able to do that. And it's just like a lot of your extra deck requires those monsters to be off inside of there. So side decking with this deck, you know, it's kind of tough. Like I said, especially like trying to make Nebula Neos' effect worth it, you know, on your opponent's turn. Like, especially like when you get to draw 2 or 3 cards, like the worst thing about it is like, dang, all these cards that I drew, I can't do anything with them because like I can't really fit hand traps inside of the deck. You know, if I drew like an Effect Veiler or a Ghost Bell or something like that, I would be able to activate it. But, you know, I can't, because I can't really fit them inside the deck. So, you know, that's a challenge in itself. Like, I'm going to try to see if maybe this week there's a way to, you know, incorporate some hand traps off inside of there in order to make Nebula Neos draw effect a little bit more worth it. So, yeah, but, you know, overall, still having fun playing the deck. You know, a lot of people get surprised when they're like, what is that? That's Vanilla Neos. What is that? Is that Prisma? You know, just seeing me summon and play a lot of these different old cards, you know. But, you know, that also being said, a lot of people, when they see these cards are like, oh, that must be an important combo piece. So there are a lot of times when my Flame Wingman, that boy is not making it to the graveyard arbiter. He's getting sent back to my extra deck, like whatever they can do to get rid of him. So, but it's all good. That's Yu-Gi-Oh! That's how the game works. So, but we're gonna make a couple more changes. We're getting close, like y'all. I feel like we're gonna get that top 4 here sooner or later. Like I said, I've blown it twice now, both games against Flunder. And both games, at least the game 2, I felt like I should have been able to win because I did go first. Maybe not so much game 1, but game 2, I should definitely win and like force out a game 3, be able to side deck in order to be able to counter what Flunder is doing and, just, bring home a victory against that deck. The toughest thing about the Flunder matchup is like, if I do break their board, it's like I still want to leave the combo Neo stuff off inside of there because I'm most likely going to have to like skip my battle phase to do like evenly match or to play Dark Ruler. I'm not going to be able to kill them that turn. So it's like being able to side those cards in and also being able to leave all my combo cards needed for Cosmos Neos in so that I can keep them from playing on their turn. It's like probably like the toughest thing with that matchup right there. But I'm gonna keep working at it, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know. I know a lot of people are asking for the deck list, and I don't want to release the deck list. I still feel like it's kind of unfinished because I'm still like trying out doing different things, and I could go ahead and show y'all this, but like I said, I'd rather just wait until like I get it to a point where I feel like it's going to be as consistent as it possibly can be. So yeah, we'll activate more engaged Neo spaces and, see what we can do from there, y'all. So appreciate everybody for staying a while to listen, and I will catch y'all on the next video.
Ain't nobody messing with the masked hero, king of games. Mask off, now you see that a hero lives. I pay half and you ask, but I'm winning games. There ain't another hero that surpasses me.